Hello and welcome to my attempt at a Halo Infinite breakdown. We finally got a gameplay reveal and this game looks amazing. More importantly, it looks fun. You can finally throw fusion coils at people. Yes! A lot has been shown off in this gameplay reveal, like a lot, and I just thought it would be fun to go over it and see some of the small little details and try to pick apart as much as we can. So, without further ado, let's get it. So the first thing you'll notice is the ring magic, but that only distracts you from the birds down here. It's cool to have a Halo game where we could slow down and interact and enjoy the environment, which is something we could do in past games, but with the open world of Halo Infinite, it seems that it will be on a larger scale. Over here we have this red malice looking thing. As far as what it is, I don't know. It could be blood, it could be a rock, it could be a new enemy like a poisonous blob that damages you, kind of like what I said with the malice, or maybe rads in Fallout in some way. It could be flood remains too. If you look closely, you could also see a string of red lights in the water. This could mean that there's something like a ship in the water, or it could be reflecting off of something that's in the surrounding areas, like a tower. Maybe the two are related? So obviously the ring has chunks missing, duh. But if you look at the left here, you can see some of the towers that we see on Valhalla, or Ragnarok. Oh, yeah, also there is a giant flipping gun here, too. I just think it's interesting that the Banished chose a location near it to set up a base and a giant turret. A couple seconds later, and we could see that it's not the only one in the area. Also, there are these giant structures that may be worth pointing out. It seems like this area is pretty important to the Banished. Right here, it seems like Master Chief's armor has a place to connect attachments, like the grappling hook, implying that the grapple isn't the only wrist-mounted armor ability. High hopes for a flamethrower. Okay, the HUD is a bit different. The shields are at the top again, as opposed to the side like Halo 2. In the bottom right, you can see that there are two available slots for armor abilities and grenades. Next to that are weapons, which are now at the bottom for some reason, probably to free up space at the top of the HUD to really bring in that open world feel. The AR that Master Chief has a full mag of 36 rounds, pretty standard, and maybe Chief doesn't have the max ammo, but we know that it holds at least 144 rounds. The top left holds your objectives, and the minimap is the same, just updated, and it covers 31 meters. Maybe you will be able to increase it through upgrades. Now, the grunts here look kind of like a mesh of both the Bungie and the 343 grunts, which is cool. I'm really digging the mesh of the art styles. Personally, I think they're both great. I don't prefer one over the other, so I think having them both is just like gold. Whoa, a crashed ship! And look, a pelican! It looks like Chief wasn't the first here. And whatever happened to these poor souls could have been tied to what happened to the pilot and why he's stranded outside the ring. Sprinting is back, too. But more importantly, this warthog here resembles a Halo 4 warthog. I mean, it's no Combat Evolved warthog, but I would say that it could be the one from the first reveal, but that warthog doesn't have a turret. Plus, I doubt that this random warthog has importance to the main story. To the left, we also have this red glowing stick. Perhaps that was what was in the water. It could be a marker to let the player know that they're going in the right direction when going from mission to mission, too. Oh boy, the map. Okay, well, we'll start at the bottom. The only really notable thing here is the View Missions button, perhaps implying that you could start a mission and then leave to do another one, like in other open world games, or it could possibly be a way for you to replay past missions. Next, we get a better look at the giant structures that I pointed out earlier. It seems that they could form some sort of bridge, meaning that you will open up more parts of the map as you play. Again, pretty standard for open world. We also have the dreaded upgrades. This confuses me. Halo hasn't really had upgrades before, and I wonder what it's used for. Maybe you will be able to upgrade certain armor abilities like the grapple. There could be variants like one is faster or one has a longer range. Maybe it could be used for weapons too, like a reworking of the different variants of weapons in Halo 5. For example, if you find a saw, you can upgrade it to an appetite for destruction and eventually to an answer. I don't see it being used for Master Chief himself. What are you going to upgrade? He's already a walking tank. I guess you could have the visor upgrades, like after a certain point you can install Promethean vision to use in dark or foggy areas. And as far as the database, I see it being used as an overview for what you've done in the campaign, like a way to see what upgrades you have or what missions you've done, how many brutes you've killed, stuff like that. I'm just a little confused on how exactly Master Chief got the map. Here, we could see that the plasma pistol does in fact still exist. We can also see the grenades in the slot, and also the Magnum, at least I assume, has more of a realistic Halo 2 look. Not exact, but closer to it than any other Magnum. It holds 12 rounds in a mag, so pretty normal, and at least 84 rounds. We can also see that kill confirm is back, which is okay, I guess. In the back over here, we could see a Needler. Yes! As well as what appears to be the plasma carbine, which we'll see later, and a plasma pistol. And this is just beautiful. Look at this elite. He has the classic armor. Now this is where we get a new weapon, a VK-78 Commando. It feels like a semi-auto DMR, which is pretty interesting. It also looks more realistic compared to the other weapons. I hope this isn't something that all the weapons in the game have, and instead just some of the newer ones. Oh, and it also has a 20-round mag and can have at least 100 rounds. Okay, it looks like you can still switch between the grenades you have, so it's not like you have to choose between frags and plasma. I don't know why, but I was worried about that. Here we could see another armor ability. It's not entirely new, it's similar to the bubble shield as it acts as protection, but it doesn't seem to cover above or behind you. You're allowed to shoot through it, but your enemies can't. It reminds me of those one-way walls in Forge, actually. At the bottom, we could also see that you could switch between armor abilities, which means that you could carry more than one, as we see that Master Chief doesn't lose the grapple. This is going to make multiplayer hectic, as you could drop a shield and then immediately grapple around a wall. Unless, they don't show up in multiplayer, or at the very least have a cooldown. Spike grenades also return. Makes sense, the brutes are here. You also have the option to just straight up pick up a fusion coil, which means two things. One, you could have them in an area and just chuck them at people and rain fire. Or two, you could grab one and run into a group of enemies, taking everyone out. Multiplayer is going to have sewer slide bombers, aren't they? It's going to be a legit strat. Great. Look at this shot here real close. Look again. Did you notice that? He slides. Sliding is still a mechanic. Man, this and the grapple are going to make speedruns insane. With the grapple, you can unleash your inner Spider-Man. You know how Sonic has a homing attack that just allows him to jump from enemy to enemy? I feel like Chief will be able to do that too. Pacifist runs are going to be cake. Now kids, keep in mind that every Halo game has one mechanic that just utterly backfires, and I feel like that's the grapple for Infinite. Imagine you are trying to grab a fusion coil, but a dumb grunt walks in the way and you get pulled into the center of a gunfight. Imagine grappling to a beam in the sky, then falling to your death. Or grappling to a moving warthog in multiplayer and getting flung across the map, which honestly just sounds like a lot of fun. The grapple is cool and all, but you have to be careful. Now we have a new brute weapon, the Ravager. To me, it looks like a baby river of light. I guess the brutes were off playing Doom during Halos 4 and 5. You can also see that the Ravager has a blade at the front of it, so you could probably one-hit melee certain enemies. It's also battery-powered, so it's of 100%. We can now see what most people speculate to be the Palace of Pain when going up this elevator, which could be another reason why the Banished are here. A Banished Phantom, nothing too special, just a regular dropship. The Jackals are still hard to kill as always. It looks like every shot with the Ravager uses 2 to 3% of its battery. They fly now! There is also a vent option. This will probably apply to all plasma-based weapons. Kinda reminds me of the blasters from Star Wars Battlefront. Here we see that Clamber is back. It seems that all the basic movement options from Halo 5, like Clamber and Slide, are back. Now we see the Pulse Carbine, which is what the Elite was using. It also uses a battery. It's difficult to tell, but going by how many times we hear it shoot, in basic math, it seems like every shot uses 1%, but every trigger pull has 4 shots. So, 4% every time you shoot it. Another new weapon, the Mangler, an 8-shot pocket shotgun. I guess it would be most similar to the bolt shot from Halo 4. It holds at least 30 rounds. We also see that if a weapon you're holding runs out of ammo, it will turn red.
Ah, I'm Spider-Man!
The Shade turret now has shields, which would make it harder to take down, I assume. I love how Master Chief could now Scorpion get over here to yeet cannon to regain neutral. Nice, nice. I wonder if you could do this with weapons and small vehicles. Like a ghost is driving by and Chief just yanks it over. What is the Shade turret shooting at? One thing that has bothered me about Halo shotguns is how short their range is. It looks like they fixed that. Here we get a great shot of the health bar. It looks like they took the design of Halo Reach and just crammed it all into one space. It looks like one of two things is going on with the brute here. Either Chief is able to focus on specific enemies, or the brute just has shields. I'm leaning more towards shields, but I wouldn't doubt the focus on, especially when you consider that Chief might be running with allies in other missions, so let's just hope that they fix the team mechanics from Halo 5. We see what looks like a variant of a fusion coil that could fly off and explode like a stormtrooper with a jetpack. This will be used in someone's Trick Shots of the Week video. Now finally, we have another weapon, the CQS-48 Bulldog, Wait, but bulldogs are revolvers. This weapon is classified as having a spread, and so maybe that's why it's so bad. It has a 10-round mag, Jesus, and holds at least 30 rounds. Wait, hold on. You get kill confirm for popping shields? That's definitely not going to cause many problems and result in many deaths. So yeah, that's basically it as far as gameplay goes. That's my breakdown. Is there anything I missed or anything you think that has a different purpose than what I said? If so, feel free to tell me in the comments below. I'm definitely excited for Infinite and I think it will be fun. I still need to sleep on all the changes though. So yeah, that's it. Sub and like if you want, dislike if you want, I don't care, it's still feedback, and see you guys later.